Hey, so this is just going to be a quick overview of what we did in class, and this is just using different materials to get a different kind of look for your objects. So right here as a scene setup, all I have is a regular plane and teapots, and I got four of them, and then three rows. And they're all the same. They all have a regular gray blend shader, so nothing special there. And then up here, if you notice, I just got a 3-point light setup. So spot, directional, and that's about it. So real quick as a render, I put a camera in there just to leave it there, and so we can see how it's looking around. And this is how it looks like. Just regular, nothing special. So this is going to be just covering different materials and playing around with them. There's nothing really specific here. Just using different materials to get different types of look. What we learned in class is he wants us to use different types of materials for our next project I want to do in 2 weeks because he wants us to avoid everybody using blend for every single thing because it gives it that same look, and it's hard to get a different kind of metallic look or anything like that with just blend. So there's a bunch of different shaders out here that we can use to get that kind of look. So I'm actually just using the project file that we used in class. Um, so first of all, here's blend, regular blend shader. This is the first material. That's the general one set. And all we did was we changed the color to orange and we moved up the specular level and glossiness. So I'll add it to the first teapot and do a quick render right here. And that's your blend. That's nothing special. You've seen that before. And then blend and Phong, you change your material right here. You click this, and here's where you choose your materials. Blend and Phong, we were told, are good for plastics, that kind of stuff. So this next one is Phong, and I'll add it to the second one. All we did is also change the color to the same color, and we played around with the specular and the glossiness. And basically, from what we were told, blend and Phong look pretty much the same. There's really not too much of a difference. So let's blend right here, and here's your Phong. Alright, so let's go to the next one. The next one's the metal material, and again you go into you select your first guy, your material, and then you go over here and you select metal, and that's how you get your different types of material. And that we change the color to more of a blue. We're just playing around with colors, it doesn't matter. And you change your specular level. So I'll add that to the third guy right here and do a quick render, and that's your metal. And then you can go ahead and play with the glossiness, see what that does. And let's do another render. So that gives you that metal look. So again, playing with the specular and the glossiness, you get different types of looks. Let's see what that does. So anyways, that's metal. Alright, the next one is Oren Nayar. So it's called the Oren Nayar blend. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fifth one on the bottom from the top. And that one we're told is good for skin or fabric surfaces. So the Oren Nayar, we just changed the color to kind of like a skin color. It's got this advanced diffuse tab right here, and with the advanced diffuse is it's got this diffuse level and roughness level, and it's also got the usual specular level, glossiness, and soften. So I'm just gonna add that to this one right here, and we'll just do a quick render, and that's your Oren Nayar. So that one's good for skin. Anyways, let's take that off, take the diffuse level off. So basically what it does is it takes away all the color, and let's see what it does if you take away, it makes it black. So it basically With the diffuse color, the diffuse level, it lets you see how much of the color through the material. So if you have it all the way down, it pretty much makes it all black. If you have it all the way to 100, you get the full 100% of the diffuse, and if you keep on going up, it kind of blows it out. So let's go to, I don't know, 80, give it a shot, and do a quick render, and you see it's not as bright as it is when it compared to 100%. And the roughness is, as you see, kind of gives it a different, I'm not really sure, I guess it just makes it not as smooth. So actually, let me bump this up a little bit. So roughness at 36. So I guess it just makes it makes the surface not as smooth. So it's hard for the specular. You don't get as much of a specular highlight. And then you get the usual specular level, specular highlight, that kind of thing. Roughness. Play around with that. Anyways, so that's the overlayer, and that's good for skin and fabrics and so on. The next one is anisotropic, and that should be, where's anisotropic? That's the first one up in the material editor. We use the same colors as before in the first two, orange. It's got a diffuse level, and then it's got this specular level and anisotropy level right here. So it's got the usual specular highlights, but then it's got this anisotropy level thing here going on. So if you bring that all the way down, 0, and glossiness to 0, you got just a regular orange color. So for render, nothing special, regular orange. But the cool thing with this is if you bring up the specular level, instead of the usual line, it's got this like four-way thing going on. And then with the anisotropy, you can tighten it up. And then if you see here, there is the, what do you call it, the highlights get tighter. So right now at 0, they're just kind of like circular and kind of blurred out. But if you move it up, it gets tighter, and you can make like a really tight line. And of course, specular levels shows how big the highlight is going to be. So let's not make it too tight. Let's make it like right there. So now if we render, you get these nice like really tight highlights. So that's really good. That can probably be used for metal or kind of glass or something. So that one works really cool. What's the next one? Translucent shader. We didn't do too much with this one. This one is, from we were told, it's good for like curtains. And what you can do is basically add it to like a type of curtain. We can add it around here, see what it does. Add to that last one right here. And then you can do the translucent color. So when it's like the light's going through it, what color it's gonna see. And let's do that. Maybe a little darker. And then the filter color, I don't know, we'll see what a light blue does. And the diffuse can be a darkish green. And anyways, this is good for seeing through like kind of like transparent objects. So let's see what it does. So gives it that kind of weird look. Interesting. Anyways, so that's the translucent shader. And then the multi-layer object, and that one should be the fourth one down. And he actually told us that he pretty much prefers this one instead of blend for the default. He uses multi-layer as a default most of the time, just because you get so many of the options. So what the multi-layer does, and I'll just add this one. Let's see, I'll add it to this guy right here. multi-layer, add a guy there. So basically we picked the regular orange color for the diffuse. You got your diffuse level and your roughness from before, from that Orenayer thing. And what the multi-layer does, it's basically you get all these options from the ones before and in one material. So you got the diffuse level and the roughness from the Orenayer, and then you got the uh, anisotropy option over here, but you got also like two options, so you can actually do two highlights. So right here I did a purple highlight, and that's this guy right here, and you can see it's just going up and down. And then here for the second highlight I did this pink highlight, and you can change the orientation. So if you look at the pink highlight right here, I'm changing the orientation, I'm actually moving the highlight, which is pretty cool. um, and I made it really tight. So if you look at the render, you get the pink, or like the light purple highlight going down, and then you got this like pink straight highlight, this really tight pink straight highlight going up, which is really cool. So you get a lot of options with the multi-layer, and I guess the multi-layer, I guess you can pretty much use for most things. There's nothing specific for it. You can just experiment and try to get whatever it is you want to get, whatever look you're trying to get. So basically, that's the thing we went over in class. Um, so for your next homework, make sure with all your materials, if you're using a metal material, go for the metal shader, or go for like one of those a different shader, one of the multi-layer, or maybe the anisotropic, and try to use as different many materials to fit the uh, the objects you're applying the materials to. So floors, maybe using Orenayer, metal stuff, either use the metal material or the multi-layer or the what's it called, the anisotropic material. And if you need plastics, Blinn and Phong are good for those. And or if it's like a material, it's an object that's hard to figure out what you want to get for it, you can use the multi-layer and try to achieve the look you're trying to get with the multi-layer material. So anyways, that's it, and hopefully that helps, and we'll see you next class.